We all might have heard some stories of the ancient Egypt, but we don't really know how exactly ancient Egypt civilization started and how they improved their civilization. Ancient Egypt was a cradle of civilization concentrated along the lower reaches of the Nile River in northeast Africa. It emerged from prehistoric Egypt around 3150 BC, when Upper and Lower Egypt were amalgamated by Menes, who is believed by the majority of Egyptologists to have been the same person as Narmer. The history of ancient Egypt unfolded as a series of stable kingdoms interspersed by the intermediate periods of relative instability. These stable kingdoms existed in one of three periods: the Old Kingdom of the Early Bronze Age, the Middle Kingdom of the Middle Bronze Age, or the New Kingdom of the Late Bronze Age. The pinnacle of ancient Egyptian power was achieved during the New Kingdom, which extended its rule to much of Nubia and a considerable portion of the Levant. After this period, Egypt entered an era of slow decline. Narmer, it may mean painful catfish or stinging catfish, was an ancient Egyptian king of the early dynastic period, whose reign began at the end of the 4th millennium BC. He was the successor to the proto-dynastic king Kai. Many scholars consider him the unifier of Egypt and founder of the first dynasty, and in turn the first king of a unified Egypt. He also had a prominently noticeable presence in Canaan, compared to his predecessors and successors. Nefertep is thought to be his queen consort or his daughter. Menes is traditionally considered the first king or pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Now let us see how they performed agriculture. The success of ancient Egyptian civilization came partly from its ability to adapt to the Nile's conditions for agriculture. The predictable flooding of the Nile and controlled irrigation of its fertile valley produced surplus crops, which supported a more dense population and thereby substantial social and cultural development. With resources to spare, the administration sponsored the mineral exploitation of the valley and its surrounding desert regions. The early development of an independent writing system, the organization of collective construction and agricultural projects, trade with other civilizations, and a military to assert Egyptian dominance throughout the Near East. Motivating and organizing these activities was a bureaucracy of elite scribes, religious leaders, and administrators under the control of the reigning pharaoh, who ensured the cooperation and unity of the Egyptian people in the context of an elaborate system of religious beliefs. Among the many achievements of ancient Egypt are the quarrying, surveying, and construction techniques that supported the building of monumental pyramids, temples, and obelisks, a system of mathematics, a practical and effective system of medicine, irrigation systems, and agricultural production techniques, the first known plank boats, Egyptian faience and glass technology, new forms of literature, and the earliest known peace treaty, which was ratified with the Anatolia-based Hittite Empire. Its art and architecture were widely copied, and its antiquities were carried off to be studied, admired, or coveted in the far corners of the world. Likewise, its monumental ruins inspired the imaginations of travelers and writers for millennia. A newfound European and Egyptian respect for antiquities and excavations that began in earnest in the early modern period has led to much scientific investigation of ancient Egypt and its society, as well as a greater appreciation of its cultural legacy. After this, what happened? When the 11 periods ruled Egypt after this, they brought a lot of improvement in agriculture, technology, and construction, which we will discuss in the next videos.